Good evening and welcome to the very first episode ever of Everything Sports with Bill and Will. I'm Bill.
I'm Will.
Already we got some breaking news is the Oklahoma Thunder.
Beat the Indiana Pacers in 7 games. First game 7 since 2016. What was the score?
91 to 103.
91 to 103. After one of the most devastating injuries of the year, Tyrese Halliburton, a couple minutes into the first quarter, most likely tears his Achilles.
Yeah, I know that's and we were just talking about it before we even went on the broadcast today about how he's the difference maker. He is such a clutch performer, so many game-winning shots, such a difference in the playoffs, and then he goes down, and then what happens? They lose the championship.
Yeah, I mean, he was their playoff. The entire playoffs was just Tyrese Halliburton for the Pacers.
Yep.
And the second he goes down, I mean, they stayed in it for a little bit, and then they just couldn't.
Yep. Well, he scored 14 points in only 23 minutes in Game 6, so he had an impact for the little bit of time he played.
While being injured in that game, too.
Yeah. He's got a short time he's been in the league, he's got a lot of list of accomplishments. So, I mean, it's really devastating news that he's down. And then, of course, good news, though, for Oklahoma City is they win their first championship in 46 years and the only one in Oklahoma City. Prior to that, they were the Seattle Supersonics until they changed the name in 2008. Aside from the NBA playoffs, we also have breaking news on Kevin Durant's trade. We got the Rays, the best team in baseball. John Jones's retirement from UFC. We got the Devers trade from last week and much more. And bear with us, folks. We're new to this still. We're going back and forth on we're kind of all over the map. We will hone it in and make it more enjoyable for everybody.
All right, let's jump right into it.
All right. And the Kevin Durant trade, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, it all depends on his production. If he produces, then it's a great trade, and if he doesn't, then it's a terrible one.
Well, that's with anything, but yeah, I think, well, just the fact that the Rockets get Kevin Durant, the Suns receive Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the 2025 first-round pick, number 10 overall, and 5 second-round picks. I mean, that's a
hell of a return.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, and again, they got to perform, but that's with any trade. Could be the worst in history or the best, but I think
but giving up that much, I mean,
it's a lot.
You could build a team with all those picks.
Pretty much, yeah.
And, receiving 2 players.
Yeah. Well, and as we talk about, I mean, if his past is any indication of how well he's going to do in the future, besides his injuries, then I think they made a heck of a trade. I mean, the guy, do you want to run down the list of accomplishments?
I mean, yeah, let's go. 2-time
NBA world champ. He won 4 gold medals, NBA Finals MVP twice, 2-time All-Star Game MVP. He's got 4 scoring titles, named to 11 All-NBA teams, including 6 first teams. He was named to the NBA's 75th anniversary team, 8th all-time in scoring. And, little thing, Rookie of the Year back in the day, too. So the guy's done a lot of stuff. He's already a legend, future MVP.
Future Hall of Famer.
But you mentioned the injuries.
He's been injured 12 times in the last 3 years.
Yeah, that's what makes it kind of scary. If kind of like the Miguel Cabrera trade when they did what, a 10-year, 12-year deal or something like that. It was
I think it was something like that. It might have been
for a ridiculous amount of money, and then they didn't get his full contract out of him. But that happens. I mean,
still won 2 MVPs, Triple Crown.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, yeah, you can't beat that. They got a heck of a deal out of it. I mean, Miggy performed no matter what. And I think he'll go down as one of the greatest Tigers of all time. But if
he didn't get injured, he would have hit 600 home runs.
Yeah. But I'm a huge fan of Kevin Durant. I hope it's a good trade for everybody. I hope he can stay healthy. Injuries plague every single sports team has injuries. We've seen tonight how devastating an injury can be. And I do think that possibly cost them the game because he was such an impactful player.
Yeah.
And good for the, for
Thunder.
the Oklahoma City and their first championship. And I mean, kudos to them. And we will need to circle back to them later on and their success. But
I feel like if he's in that, the Pacers win that game.
I think no
Easy,
doubt.
So easy.
Yeah.
Like it's just so devastating for them.
And he's still really young. I mean, he's
Yeah.
he's not even out of his 30s yet. The guy's, 26 years old, I believe. Whereas Kevin Durant is 36 years old. So,
He's 25.
yeah, that's what I thought. I knew it was close. Thank you for the fact checking. So, but
See,
going back to Kevin Durant, a guy like that, just like we were talking about Miggy a minute ago, when you've got a guy that's been in the league that long with that much experience, future Hall of Famer, even if he's injured, having him in the lineup it's everything. Obviously, in the lineup is better, but just around the team and coaching the young players, that's invaluable.
yeah.
So even if he's injured, it's probably a good deal for the Rockets. But of course, they want him to play. But yeah, I think we can move on to other sports for now. We'll circle back at the end to
Oklahoma City. We're now going to move on to the John Jones retirement.
that's huge.
Yeah, we'll put in the clip of Dana White announcing it yesterday right here.
John Jones called us last night and retired. John Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
Thank you very much.
One of the greatest fighters of all time. I mean,
Undoubtedly, yeah. Well, he's, in my opinion, the fights I've seen of his, I think the guy's undefeated. And we can run down the list of accomplishments. It's going to take a second, but youngest champ in UFC history for the light heavyweight title. He's got the most title defenses in UFC history. Longest win streak. He's the first ever to beat 5 former UFC champs consecutively. His only loss is a disqualification against Matt Hamill, which is highly disputed, even by Dana White. And we saw that fight just earlier today as a recap. And I don't know how you can say that was a loss.
even
That
Joe
was
Rogan in the clip is talking about how the 12-6 elbow being banned is just stupid because it doesn't make any sense.
Well, and Matt Hamill was he had to be helped out. He was he was beaten in that fight. There was no way he was going to continue that fight. So his totals, 30 total fights, 28 wins, 11 of them by knockout, 7 by submission, 10 by decision, and he's got 1 no contest. But I mean,
Which
the guy
is for drug use. He won the fight.
Yeah, he won the fight. He was stripped of the title after he was arrested on a felony hit and run. He returned only to test positive for a banned substance and was suspended. He came back, reclaimed the title, held it until 2020 when he vacated it voluntarily. He spent 3 years away, which is you can't spend 3 years away from any sport during your peak and then come back and win the heavyweight champion. And that's exactly what he did. That's incredible. And he held it until he retired just this Saturday, the 21st. That's incredible.
It's crazy. One of the greatest fighters of all time. I mean, the stuff outside of the octagon, not,
Kind of shadows. It kind of casts a shadow on what he did, but inside the octagon, you can't beat it. He was incredible.
He was the best fighter ever to be in the UFC. I mean, just hands down.
And we should say, as a side note, other breaking, Tom Aspinall is the new heavyweight champion. The big news here that we want to talk about is the retirement of John Jones. So that's incredible.
Yeah. Switching gears to baseball now, Cal Raleigh might be the greatest catcher of all time.
Okay, that might be he's young. He's got a long way to go. There's so many legendary catchers out there. Yogi Berra,
No.
Mike Piazza.
No.
Yeah, there's
He's good. He's doing
he's
very good.
definitely good. And he's set a record. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, he set a record for being the first catcher to hit 30 home runs before an All-Star break, and then he hit one again today just because.
Yeah, just
Why not?
because. Yeah, but 30. Yeah, he's on pace for 64 home runs.
Yep.
No doubt about it. That's awesome. On pace is on pace, though. Paces go up and down. There's a slowdown factor. There's a fatigue factor, which I guess is the same
Yeah,
thing.
I think
but,
he's hit 4 in the last 3 games.
okay, so he's not
So-
slowing down yet. But for 100, baseball's such a long, grueling season. 162 to keep up that pace is it's never done. But
Which
well,
he would shatter the former record of
Oh, by
Salvador
far.
Perez. He had 48 in 2021, where I think he won the AL MVP that year.
I think even if he slows down, I think he's got a really good shot of hitting that. I do think he's going to shatter it. God forbid. Again, we're talking about injuries because injuries plague everything. If he can stay healthy, I think he's got a heck of a shot of not only breaking it, but just obliterating that record. But you mentioned we were talking off air about Aaron Judge, the pace he was setting, and he's down quite a. What's he batting now? 360,
367.
367. Was batting well over 400. And again, we haven't had a 400 batter in decades. So,
1941, it was Ted Williams, and he was batting 406.
closest to get there was George Brett hit 390. And then, of course, Tony Gwynn hit 394, I believe. And this is,
Yep,
and
394.
these are just,
Strike shortened year, too.
yeah. Like I said, I'm the old school of the two of us. So he wasn't even born when George Brett hit 390, and he won 3 batting titles in 3 different decades. So this is all from memory. So don't kill us with the fact checking. We'll do that
Okay.
ourselves at the end.
I'm doing it right now. He did not win the MVP. He won the World Series MVP in 2015.
Who are we talking about?
Salvador Perez.
Oh, Perez, yeah.
He does have the MLB record right now for most home runs as a catcher.
Right
which
now.
I believe should have won him the MVP in 2021 because that is crazy. But also, he didn't do all of them as a catcher. He did a lot of them as a DH as well. So,
Yeah.
still, but that's still impressive for being, I think, one of the oldest catchers in the league and still putting up those crazy numbers.
Well, and I think he's going to be exciting to watch, no doubt about it. And everyone's following him. The
Big dumper.
big dumper. That's right. That's his nickname for those of you that don't know.
Yeah.
And you want to tell the folks how he got that nickname?
Because he has a really big dumper.
Oh, well, I guess that settles that. He debuted in 2021. 2022, September 30th, he had a walk-off to send the Seattle Mariners to the playoffs for the first time since 2001.
One of the most exciting plays of that year.
Oh, and he was the first catcher to homer from both sides of the plate in a game at Fenway Park. First Mariner in franchise history to win the Platinum Glove Award. And he holds now the Mariners franchise records for home runs by a catcher. So he's already setting things on fire, and he's very young into his career. So it's going to be an exciting kid to watch. So,
4 seasons in now, he has 27 or more home runs in every single year he's played a full year, which is every year
pretty
except for
impressive.
his first year.
well, in his current stats, he's got 77 hits, 55 runs, 31 home runs, 66 RBIs, 276 batting average, which is respectable. 9 stolen bases, which
I think he has a record for stolen bases by a catcher for the Mariners.
we'll have to check that. But I know power and speed is kind of a rare combination. You got Jose Canseco that was the first 40-40 man, and then last year just an incredible stretch by Ohtani, which some people were downplaying is not a great feat, but come on. 50 home runs and 50 steals, and the guy's a pitcher on top of that. That's one of the greatest performances of all time, I think, hands down.
People were trying to tell me that it doesn't, because he was injured for all of last year, that it doesn't matter what he did last year. It's just because he was a DH last year and just because he was injured doesn't take away from what he did.
Well,
No
it's
one has
never
ever
been
done it
done.
before.
It's never been done. Anytime something in baseball with a 100-year track record or more is just impressive.
Yeah, and
You
the
can't argue that.
excuse people always say is that that the bases were enlarged, but you can make that argument about any time they changed
Change the fences.
Changed the fences. Like, they brought in the fences at Comerica Park and lowered them specifically because they had a bunch of athletic outfielders
Well, the
that they
Yankees.
wanted to go get catches.
Yankees changed the stadium for Babe Ruth. It's literally they called the house that Ruth built for a reason. He made that park. Well, and I mean, he was legendary in everything he did too. He did everything big. Yeah. One of my favorite memorabilia. It's not worth much. It's just a high school graduation present from 1948 when the Babe died. He made the cover, obviously, because it was big news back then. But actually, my high school principal gave it to me as a graduation present because he knew I was a huge baseball fan and a big Babe Ruth fan.
That's crazy.
So I must have talked a lot about sports back then, too. So my wife always says I talk too much. She might be onto something.
True.
Yeah. You don't need to chime in there, Will. Oh, but back to Cal, his I forgot to mention his OPS 1.042. Very impressive.
It'd be the highest of his career if it was to stay up that high. And even close to that high is good. It's the second best OPS in baseball behind who else? Aaron Judge, the greatest hitter ever, apparently.
Well, he's making a name for himself, undoubtedly.
He's close to 350 for his career. He's at 342 right now.
Well, and again, as we go on, we're going to have a lot of topics. We're talking about the home run chases throughout history. The home run chase, I want to say 98 when McGuire and Sosa were going for it, which now is kind of tainted by the steroid era. But come on, that kind of steroid or not,
doing it.
Steroids or not, I think it saved baseball.
Oh, it 100%. Everyone says that it did, which, I mean, you can't deny it. The numbers were declining, and then the home run chase happens, and all of a sudden they go up. I'm pretty sure there's a reason for it.
Well, kind of, and actually, even myself as a lifelong baseball fan and sports fan in general, the 98 was exciting. In fact, I've got newspaper prints from that too, I believe. And it's just one of the best seasons ever. What overshadowed it was then the next season, I think Sosa hit 60 again. You can't, when you take all these decades to break a record, and then all of a sudden it's broken every year, and then Barry Bonds comes out and hits 73, that kind of killed it for me.
Yeah, I think it did for everyone.
That did for me, and then it's like, yeah, everyone's on PEDs, and that really hurt the game, I think, but
it hurt a lot of sports.
I don't know. The thing I love about baseball, though, and any sport out there, no matter what, it could be the most boring sport on the planet. Everyone loves a good sports story, it seems like. Everyone loves the dramatic finish, the comeback kid, that no one thought was going to win. Like the movie Rudy.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah,
there's something dramatic about it, and it's a good story. Last year alone, sticking with baseball, the Detroit Tigers, who thought the Tigers were going to make the playoffs when the season started? They were the comeback kids. They were such a surprise, such a joy to watch. And then it was devastating when they lost, but you know what?
they made
it further than anyone.
Yeah, to have a 0.2% chance of making it to the playoffs and then making it, and then
against
beating
all
the
odds.
Astros.
Yep.
Like, I know Justin Verlander didn't pitch in it because he was injured, but to beat Verlander, to advance to the playoffs for the first time in a decade, it was an amazing thing to watch as a Tigers fan.
Yeah, and speaking of Verlander, I know that you didn't like the trade. I didn't like it. I hate it when we always get a great player, franchise player, one that made his mark in Detroit, and everybody knows him. He's a household name in Detroit because we're obviously, if you don't know, we're from Detroit or from Michigan, so Detroit is our hometown team with everything. And I grew up following all the Detroit teams, from the Tigers, Lions, all of them. Yeah. And every time Detroit Tigers especially get rid of a player, they go to another team and they win a world championship.
All the time.
Verlander obviously did it, but Kirk Gibson in '88 hit one of the most historic home runs in Dodger history. Even if you don't know baseball, if you've seen any clips at all, you see him pumping his
Yeah, they
his
even
arm back and
mentioned
forth.
it last year in the World
Yeah.
Series
Yeah.
when Freddie hit his home run.
that was
That was the Dodgers announcer that made that call. He said, "Freddie, meet Gibby," and for it to be the Dodgers
was so
announcer, that
cool.
was I immediately knew they were going to win the World Series after that. There was after the first game that World Series was over. It was electric in that stadium.
Oh, I know. Yeah, and then he did it not once but twice and three. He did what? I think he had 5. What? Again, we have to go back and remember. I'm just
Yeah,
going
he had
off memory.
he broke. I think it was George Springer's record.
He had a
for-
home run in consecutive games.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 consecutive games. He broke George. I know it was George Springer's record for
Yeah.
the most consecutive World Series games with a home run.
I know and the fact that it tied back to Gibby, the Dodgers winning that World Series. What 40 years? Was it 40 years to the day?
Yeah, I think
Almost to the day in time. Even I think it was crazy. Which again, we'll check all this, so don't kill us if we got it wrong. We'll
No,
go
I
back.
think it was 81. It was 81 that they won it. Or no, they won
88.
it 88. Yeah.
88. Yeah.
Oh, it was. Oh, 81 was the year that Fernando was there, because Fernando Valenzuela died last year, and that was the whole thing. He died like right before the playoffs.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that now.
36 years or something. Okay, so it wasn't. It's still a long time.
Yeah.
And
Oh, the reason I brought up that was because it was the first time they had played the Dodgers since '81, and it was the year that Fernando Mania happened,
yeah, and he just
and it was
recently
against
passed.
the Yankees. And then the year that he passes away, they're playing the Yankees, and they beat him again.
I know it's kind of it all kind of falls into place there in the lore of sports. You know it.
Yeah, how can you not be romantic about baseball?
And then the fact I know you wanted the Yankees to win. I didn't really have a dog in the fight last
I
year.
just watched them all last year because
Yeah. Well, and Aaron Judge is an exciting player, but then you got
And
the two
Juan
best
Soto.
players in baseball, Juan Soto too. But you got Ohtani on one hand, and a showdown against the other best player in the American League, Judge, and then they did horrible in the playoffs.
they were terrible.
And you know what? I just
Freddie was the show of the last year's World Series.
he really was, and it was just exciting to see that. And then Freddie meet Gibby, what a call that was!
That's one of the
That's
greatest
awesome.
calls in World Series history, in my opinion.
I love it. Well,
And then Volpe hitting.
your
a home
history
run.
isn't that long. You're a baby. So
You're a baby.
you're grounded.
No.
Okay. Oh yeah, we were talking though. I know we kind of sidetracked here, but the Tigers always get rid of a good player. Even Cecil Fielder won a world championship with the Yankees. I don't know how many folks know that, but he didn't have a lot of playing time. He had just enough to win a ring. And the only game I seen him in, he might have played more, but I was in high school at the time, so it tells you how long that is. You be quiet. Tells how long ago that was, but he had a hit in the World Series and he got a ring. Wouldn't have got it with the Tigers in in the late '90s. So, I mean, good for him. But anytime we trade someone, they go on and they win a title. All right, now that we got derailed quite a bit, we need to get back on track here. Where were we?
The Rays are the best team in baseball, except for today. They kind of got murdered by the Tigers, which
Good. They have it coming.
But
Rays. Well, you know what? I got the last Tiger game we went to was actually against the Rays.
it was second to last. The
What's
last
that?
one was against the White Sox. It was,
Oh, that's right.
We went in one of the last games.
Oh,
of
you're
last
right.
year.
Okay, never
It
mind.
was the year that they clinched. The game that they clinched actually the playoffs.
The White Sox.
Yep, it was against the White Sox. It was the second or.
Yeah,
third
we
to
didn't
last
see
game
the
of year.
clincher, but we had really good. We got good seats there. Courtesy of DTE, thank you.
The Rays killed the Tigers the last 2 days.
Yeah, last 2 days, but then we got to come back. But the Rays, I got a little issue with the Rays when we traded for David Price, great pitcher. Which
Had him for like a week.
well,
it was longer
it
than that,
was
of
short.
course.
It was short,
But-
but well, David, I feel bad for him. He was throwing a hell of a game. I think it was I don't remember how many. He had very little hits, if any. He had no runs, and we ended up losing the game in the 9th, I believe.
That happens a lot.
Devastating.
That was JV's curse for
We
a
use that
while.
word a lot today. Yeah. Well,
That's Paul Skeens now.
but my point is when we traded for him, they had the Rays posted a shot of Detroit, abandoned buildings, and all the, just a really horrible
I
shot
forgot
of
about
Detroit.
that.
Horrible shot at Detroit on their Twitter. Detroit came back with the most epic post ever. It showed the packed house in Detroit, wall to wall people, 40,000 plus, filling the stands, and then empty stadium in Colorado. Or I'm sorry, not Colorado, in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
That's what you get. Because I think if and again, we're a little biased because we're from Detroit, but I think I could argue this with any other sports franchise out there. Detroit fans are the best out there. They're the most loyal, and we haven't had until the last couple of years. We haven't had a lot of great teams. We got spoiled by the Tigers for a few straight seasons, but before that, the Tigers losing record. I mean, we almost set a record for the worst team in baseball history back in, what was it, 03, I believe?
Yep, 03. I think.
And then 06, we get to the World Series thanks with the help of Jim Leland and some really magical trades. In fact,
Dave Dombrowski, he won the Red Sox the World Series in 2018. He was their GM.
Yep, and I'm looking at a picture on our wall right now in our studio. Magli Ordonez hitting a 3-run homer to send the Tigers to the World Series. The greatest call in recent memory for me was, I think it was either Dan Dickerson or Jim Price of the Tigers radio. And I love radio because it's such a classic voice, and you can really feel when the team does something great. Just remember the announcer saying, "And the Tigers are going to the World Series." What a plug!
Yeah, I remember that. That's my favorite. I also do like the regular broadcast call of it. It was in the Tigers' march to the World Series. I just remember that so vividly.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of good calls, and we'll have to do that. And the thing about this podcast, we want it to be interactive with our audience. We're going to post some polls coming up. We'll tell you, in upcoming episodes what we're going to be. You can go on Twitter, Facebook,
everywhere,
pretty much
basically.
everywhere, and let us know what you think. We're definitely going to touch on coming up in the coming months. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? So start thinking that right now. I think it's a definite yes. Yeah, the guy.
Yeah, he definitely should be. I mean, they also unbanned Shoeless Joe Jackson and the people involved in the Black Sox scandal as well.
And then we'll talk about some of the Baseball Writers Association and why on earth you cannot do a unanimous vote for somebody like Derek Jeter. I think Griffey even had somebody that didn't vote for him. Ken Griffey.
The first one that got a unanimous, I think he's the only one still, is Mo.
And not overshadowed by PEDs. Ken Griffey Jr., one of the sweetest swings in all of baseball.
One of the
hands
best
down, he's
players
one of the greatest of all time. And you're not going to vote him unanimously. Nolan Ryan didn't get unanimous votes. 7
no-hitters.
7 no-hitters, 3,000 plus strikeouts.
5,000.
Or I'm sorry, 5 all-time in strikeouts. 300 plus wins is what I meant. I'm not that old. It just takes me a minute sometimes. You got to give me a minute. I'll get there. But my God, one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense why there's only one. I mean, Mo's great, but yeah, there should be more.
But back to Cal Raleigh. You got anything more on him?
Greatest of all time.
Okay. Well, you can't say that yet. He's not played enough to be the greatest, but he's got one of the greatest seasons of all time already. That's for sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
Are you going to tell me I'm wrong again?
You're always wrong, but not right now.
I'm an expert on my opinion. So in my head, I'm not. Yep. And, did we go down this? Yeah, we already said the stats for Cal, so I think we're good. And folks, we're going to get it honed in over time. This is our very first podcast. We're so happy that you joined us, and we're not done yet. We got more to go. I just want to say thank you for all the listeners out there already. All 2 of you, 3 of you, however many it is yet. But yeah, and then you want to talk about Jacob Makrowski?
I have no idea. That's right. He's the only MLB pitcher since 1900 to have more wins, 2, than hits allowed, 1, over his first 2 career starts.
It's impressive.
And he throws a 96-mile-an-hour slider. 96.
That's impressive. It's really good.
The MLB posted about the slider in particular that I'm talking about. And He crossed up the hitter so bad it looked like he snatched his soul from him.
That's that's a good visual.
He literally went down to a knee.
Yeah, I think. He's going to be exciting to watch. The thing, I don't want to get too overexcited about any player because they've done it in the past.
Especially a pitcher.
Especially a pitcher because they've done it in the past just for the pitcher to wash out after one season.
Which, yeah, happens all the time.
I remember when I was a kid, I was collecting baseball cards, and you always had the hottest players in the game. Their cards would skyrocket, and the next year they're worth nothing.
Yeah.
Just go down to nothing. I don't want to say players' name. I don't want to disparage anybody, but if I would have invested more back then, I would have lost a lot of money on them. So luckily it was just allowance money at the time, so didn't really lose much. But some of them went up, and that's another. We'll talk about card memorabilia and get interactive with people down the line because we've just
definitely want to do card openings.
We just found at a little gem of a place that my wife and I went to. Your mom, of course, you met her. A couple of Hank Aaron cards. Now they're not in great shape, but just the fact that I never had a Hank Aaron card. He was
especially
long retired,
one, not a replica.
Yeah, not a replica. Hank Aaron card and two of course. Again, we're in Detroit. One of the greatest players Detroit ever had as a Tiger, Al Kaline. And then, speaking of announcers, we mentioned earlier, he was one of my favorite announcers that I remember growing up as a kid. So we got a lot to talk about in the upcoming months, but we kind of want to make this podcast, fan led. We don't want to just be out there talking about all the stuff we want to talk about. If there's a topic about any sport, anytime, we want the fans or our listeners to be involved, or fans. You can be fans too, I guess, hopefully. So, what else you got?
Rafael Devers traded in one of the most bewildering trades in baseball history. The Red Sox trade away their superstar they signed at 16 to the Giants, of all teams for some reason, just to get nothing out of it.
Yeah, and the trade happened last week, so we're just kind of rehashing it because we're starting this week. Yeah.
He got his first home run as a Giant against the Red Sox.
Against this former team. So that's kind of, I don't know. As a player, to beat your former team,
after going over 5,
if nothing else, it's just kind of bragging rights, right? I mean, like when Matthew Stafford was traded from the Lions,
and we beat him in the playoffs, and it was the greatest day of my life.
Yeah, originally you were mad that he got traded. Me, seeing the Lions all.
I think everyone was mad that
he got traded too. But I'm really, and that's another one that we tying in with the Tigers trade. We trade Matthew Stafford, the very next season, the guy wins a Super Bowl. Good for him, but it does stink that he didn't do that with us. But I think right now, Dan Campbell, everyone says he's the greatest coach they've ever played for.
Yeah,
that alone is impressive. The teamwork, the camaraderie, it's just a different feel in Detroit. And knowing last year was a heartbreaking end of the season because we had a million friggin' injuries. You cannot have any team out there, no matter how good you are. You can't have all those injuries, and you probably know the numbers better than I do.
It was like 20 players injured on defense at one time.
The whole team was injured, and they still were pulling off magnificent win after win, and it just, it's heartbreaking. I did think that would have, if they could have stayed healthy, and again, it all comes down to if we could what if it to death. That should have been their year last year. I was hoping it was the Tigers' year, but you know what? Tigers are on such a tear this year. Best team in baseball. Had a couple of losses lately to the Rays, but
the Rays, the hottest team in baseball right now.
Yeah, screw the Rays.
Over the last month, I mean, they're leading in almost every offensive category.
The Rays badmouth Detroit. I've got nothing nice to say about the Rays. I'm happy that they're doing good, but I'm happy that
they do play in a Mickey Mouse-ass stadium. I will give them that. Yeah. It is a minor league ballpark. We have billionaire owners, and we're playing in minor league stadiums. Yeah. This is the most ridiculous thing ever. And I think it's the Sacramento ballpark. You can't see down the third baseline from the dugout, which means they messed up a call. It should have been a ground rule double. I can't remember which game it was. It should have been a ground rule double, and the manager of the team couldn't see down the line to challenge the call or not. And they have a certain
it's
set of
pretty bad.
time that you have to challenge the call in, and they didn't get it in time, so they weren't able to challenge it, and they got an extra run when they shouldn't have.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't understand
I
when
don't
we
like their
have
stadium
billionaire
either.
owners, why this is ever a discussion.
Well, and with a lot of them, they get outside money. It's not
Yeah,
like
they
it's
get
their money.
subsidies. Like
Well, there's subsidies.
Vegas is getting subsidies.
Some of them get tax breaks. I'm assuming they get
Yeah, those
like they get sponsors. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
My middle-aged brain, it sometimes takes a minute to catch up with me.
A minute.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, like Comerica Park used to be Tiger Stadium. I hated it when they changed the name to Comerica.
For Comerica Bank.
But if Comerica puts enough money in there for the city of Detroit, I mean, why not? But I don't like the fact that everything's commercialized. You know, they've got PNC Park. They've got all these.
I hate that so much. I also hate the Pirates.
U.S. Cellular Field. They've got a lot of. I don't like the fact that they're doing that, but I get it. Money makes the world go round, I guess, and it makes the teams. If they're going to put hundreds of millions of dollars into a team, why wouldn't the billionaire owners or any owner for that? But it just makes it's good business sense. But I always love the name Tiger Stadium. But Tiger Stadium was Nevin Field. It was Briggs Stadium. It's changed a lot. But at least they changed for a reason. This is more commercial. But hey, it is what it is. We're Comerica Park now, and
I still call it Tiger Stadium every night.
I don't like the name. I do love the ball. The ballpark itself is amazing.
Oh,
there's not a bad
one of the
seat in the
best-
house.
It's one of the best landscapes in baseball. Just seeing the city behind the stadium is so beautiful, especially when you're there behind home plate. It is amazing.
And the restaurant, again, thank you
Awesome.
DTE for sponsoring that event through my work. We had free tickets. We got to go and enjoy the game, a little ceremony, which I got to say, normally those award ceremonies are boring. The food is terrible, and they drag on and on. DTE, I love you to death. They got us cocktail hour for one. Then they had the award ceremony right then and there, which was very, very quick. Then they ushered us out to eat, and the food was amazing. It overlooked the restaurant overlooked the stadium.
Yeah, it was over the right field
We got to
fence.
see-
It was amazing.
While we were eating, there was a home run.
It was I think it was 2 home runs.
I don't remember, but
I know it was Parker Meadows led off the game with a
Oh,
home run.
yep.
I think he hit a home run. Yeah, I think he hit a home run today. I think it was a 3-run home run.
Yeah. And again, we're going from memory.
Which he just came back off of injury. First game off of injury, makes a crazy catch. Had a 950 expected batting average and just barely caught the ball.
Yeah. And then I remember, anyway, good food. And then they ushered us down and we just enjoyed the game. Wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold, because every other time I went to that darn stadium, it was super hot.
God, I would not want to be there today.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Today, if you're not in Michigan, it was, almost 90 today?
It was over 90. It was like 92
heat
when I
index
looked at
was
it this
just-
morning.
I've been in 3 different deserts in my lifetime as well, and this was brutal. So, and it will come up again because I'm going to mention it. I was in the Marine Corps Reserves for 8 years, and which we'll do something for 4th of July to tribute to the troops or something, I'm sure. This wasn't desert heat, but it was just a different kind of heat. When it's humid, it's just nasty out. And
It's just miserable.
it was miserable today. Well, I mean, not for us. We were in the AC all day today. I think I went
True.
out twice today for just for a couple things, but I was barely outside, so I'm not complaining. But thank God for AC, but which we just got replaced. So,
Real.
which our studio's in the basement. We have no lack of. It's cold down here, so. But it's nice and hot outside, nice and cool in here. So again, not complaining.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. We kind of went on a little tangent there. Where were we? You may have to rein me in from time to time. I got a good memory. It's just short from time to time. But I will say, the highlights, the sports highlights, I do remember those. I don't forget those. I can tell
Yeah.
you WrestleMania 3, which, I mean, take it or leave it as a sport, but 93,173 fans. It's just a ridiculous stat to remember, but I do remember that because I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember crowd sizes anywhere else other than I know Tigers were setting records, and we had some record turnouts this last year for the.
Yeah, it was their highest attendance since I think like 2012 or 2013, something like that.
And 2012 was a good year for us.
World
Although-
Series.
well,
The last 4
bring it
games weren't
back.
that good for us, but
Well, and that was the year we moved into this house, and we didn't have our cable yet, so we couldn't watch a single game. I had to put it, and I don't think we had anything streaming because the internet was so bad here.
just got it good.
I had to go out in the car and listen to some of the games on 97.1 The Ticket, which is our local Detroit sports radio. And then I heard, it was just a blowout. So we lost 4 straight. It was horrible. So we can move on. There's not much to talk about from. Although we had a lot of. I think 2012 was that catch by. Was it Boston we were playing? Or no, it wasn't.
Yeah, 2013 was the Torrey Hunter Boston
2013,
catch.
We lost that. That was also the Oklahoma City bombing.
Was that
so
not Oklahoma City? It was the
Oh,
Boston Marathon bombing.
okay, I got it. I'm getting there. Okay, Boston Marathon bombing. It was kind of just a magical year for Boston. I mean they deserved to win after that. 'Cause
Yeah, I
it
mean
was so horrible for that city.
that was one of the. It happening to us, it made it bittersweet, but looking back on it now as an adult,
History. Yeah.
it was the perfect moment for Boston. I mean, their hero, their guy, their superstar, Big Papi, hits a grand slam. I think it was it a
Yeah.
walk-off grand slam? I can't remember. I know he hit a walk-off
asking
home
me
run
from
in
memory?
2004.
Yeah, I don't.
So it wasn't a walk-off, but it was a game-tying grand slam in the
So
bottom of the
impressive.
8th, and then they would go to walk it off in the next inning.
Yeah, he's been impressive his whole career, though. Definitely deserves Hall of Fame. Without him, the comeback against the Yankees and their eventual World Series win of whatever year that was.
2004,
Thank you, 2004.
the greatest comeback in sports
Yep.
history.
Yeah, without that, I mean,
I mean,
come on.
28-3 maybe is better, but
Well, it's a great. Well, for one, you got one of the best, longest rivalries in sports, Yankees and
one of the most storied rivalries
yeah,
too.
and the Red Sox, and then for them to come down, lost 3 straight games, to come back and win the Final 4. It's never been done,
yeah,
and just something
before or
magical.
since.
And they had to reverse the curse of the Bambino, so it's
Yeah, and it was against it being against the Yankees and it being the curse of the Bambino that they broke. It couldn't have been more perfect.
yeah. So for those that don't know, Babe Ruth was traded from from the Red Sox to the Yankees, and the Red Sox hadn't been back or haven't won a World Series since then. Till 2004, they finally reversed that curse, and there you have it. They won the championship.
And they've won, I think, 4 since 2004. They've won 2004, 2007, 2013, and 2018. And they've traded all of their stars away. They traded
that's what
Mookie away
happens.
after 2018. They just traded Devers away. Like, I don't understand. Well, I understand Boston.
Moneyball.
That is the greatest movie of all time. But the Red Sox have consistently done that, and it is because their owner also owns, I think it's a soccer club, and he's investing all of his money into there. And so the fans think that he's dumping all of the money that's in the Red Sox to invest more money in his other team that he owns.
Yeah, that's a bad decision for. Well, I mean,
why get rid of Devers to begin
Yeah.
with? Like it.
well, he could.
I mean, I get like the, I play third shit with him not wanting to move positions when Bregman came in, but he's so willing to play. He said the other day, I'm willing to play whatever position they want me to play at. So it was most definitely a Boston thing. Like they had problems.
Yeah. Well,
So I mean, it was probably.
it's a done deal now, but yeah, I
I
think
don't
it's a
like
bad-
Boston ownership.
I think it was a bad decision for Boston, and the fans are going to hate it.
The fans have gone crazy.
And of
about
course, anytime you trade a really good player, it's potentially
this
gonna
was
hurt
just like the
team.
Luka trade from
Yeah.
earlier this year. The freaking one of the worst. Everyone says is the worst trade in NBA history.
Yeah.
Trading Luka to freaking Lakers.
All right. I guess moving on to Riley Green now. What do you think?
His best year so far.
Well, he's bad. I mean, stats are pretty good. He's got a 291 average, 17 home runs, 59 ribbies, only one stolen base. But I mean,
He doesn't steal. He's only got 13 for his whole
Yeah.
career.
I don't care about that. Cecil Fielder, I think, stole 3 in his entire career.
Yeah.
When he stole his first base, nobody was expecting it. They actually give him second base. He got a standing ovation. They give him
awesome.
second base. In fact, we went to a game, what was it, last year or the year before? Cecil Fielder was there giving a speech, and they give him some type of award. I don't even remember what the award was, but he was there on Cecil night, and one of the questions that the on the jumbotron, which was more impressive, his stolen base, or I think they had his 51 home runs or something like that he hit in 1990. Another thing, I know a lot of useless stats. He hit his 1990. He hit 51 home runs. Then it was 44. Then he hit 35 in his third season with Detroit. They said he had an off year, hitting 35 home runs. Then when you're down from 50, then he hit 30, then 28, and then I don't remember from there because shortly after that, I think we played one more season, then we traded him. So maybe some useless knowledge, just stuff I remember. But where were we?
Riley Green.
We had how did we get on Cecil?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, yeah, Riley, yeah, he's doing pretty
having
good.
a really good year so far this year. 291 average, 345 OBP, 530 slugging, and a 875 on base percentage. So, I mean, having one of the best years of his career. Of course, it's only 77 games in, but over 300 or almost 300 at bats. That's pretty good sample size.
Give him a chance, see what he can do. I mean, he's only going to get better.
I think he might be better than Torx. I think it was 2 years ago.
You know, this entire team is young. It's made up of young players. I don't think, do we have even a 30-year-old on the team?
I don't think so, but I also don't know.
And we had a payroll last year.
I think our pitchers might be.
I think our entire payroll for the Detroit Tigers last year
It was less than $14 million.
Yeah, which was the salary of one of the
Josh Hader.
Indians. Or they're not
No,
Indians anymore.
it was the Astros.
Oh,
Josh Hader,
Astros,
their
okay.
closer. Their closer, Josh Hader, was making more money than the entire Tigers team combined, and they
That's right, yeah.
ended up beating him and knocking the Astros out of the playoffs.
And they changed the name to the Guardians now anyway. It's not the Cleveland Indians anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, I mean, everyone makes that mistake. They also still call the A's Oakland, and you get fined now for saying it, which is dumb. It's been
ridiculous.
Oakland forever. Now they're the Sacramento Athletics,
Well-
which is stupid. They're also playing in a minor league ballpark, I believe.
Yeah, I don't like that either, but I guess before we move on, maybe give us a rundown of the standings for the MLB.
Yep, the Yankees lead the American League East. They are 45-32. They're 2.5 games up on the Rays, as every single AL East team besides the Yankees lost today. The Tigers salvaged the final game of the 3-game set against the Rays and are now 49-30, 8 games up on the Guardians. The Astros lead the West with 45-33. They're 5 games ahead of the Mariners. The Phillies beat the Mets today. They were tied going into the game. They are now a full game up on the Mets. They are 47-31. The Mets are 46-32. The Cubs are number 1 in the Central by 3.5 games, 46-31. And then the Dodgers now have a 3.5 game lead on the Giants. They're 48-31. So the Tigers still have the best record in all of baseball.
That's good. Okay. Oh, I really like the Dodgers mainly because of Shohei Ohtani. He's
Which
so exciting
Just
to watch.
pitched today for the second time this year. Got his first strikeout as a Dodger. Didn't get it in his first outing because it was kind of shaky. I mean, first outing in over a year,
Yeah,
almost
that's
2 years.
The guy's just impressive. I don't care. He's a
but he didn't pitch all of last year.
yeah, well, he's an outstanding pitcher and he's an outstanding hitter. I mean, he's one of the. I don't know what he batted last year, but I know 50 home runs, 50 steals. Come on.
Like that.
Yeah.
First ever to 50-50, and it was not even close. The closest before him was A-Rod's 2007 season. He went 54-24. So that just shows how hard it is to get to 50-50. The most stolen bases in a 50 home run season was in 2007.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy.
Yeah, no matter what, it's impressive. Because a lot of times you'll have a power hitter that can't run, which is usually the case, other than Canseco when he was, I don't know, steroid free if he was. I don't know. He needs to quit admitting to stuff. But and turning everybody in. But
What a snitch.
yeah,
Shohei batted .310 last year,
okay.
which crazy. Like, doing 50-50 and then batting .300 and almost winning the Triple Crown.
Yep.
If it wasn't for, I think it was Luis Ariz.
So that's the point. You got incredible speed, 50 stolen bases, pretty impressive. You got Riley Green with what, 1?
Yeah.
Well, still, they're paying him to, not everybody needs to run
They're paying
and steal bases.
for his defense and the bat.
And not everyone's, and you got a guy like Ricky Henderson. He wasn't a major power hitter. He didn't hit a ton of home runs, but the guy stole bases. You got to have, you want that good combination of speed and power, but it doesn't always come from the same guy. With Ohtani, I mean, come on. You got a hell of an arm there with he can pitch, he can hit, he can do it all.
Yeah. I mean,
talk about 5-tool players. This guy's got a whole other tool bag for pitching.
Yeah.
He's impressive.
I mean, just one of the greatest athletes we've ever seen. And the comparison's always to Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth didn't do this. All he did was he either pitched or he hit. He didn't do both. So if you look at Babe Ruth's stats, he starts out as a pitcher. And he does that for a couple years, wins a couple World Series, and then switches to hitting. Shohei's doing both at the same time.
That's impressive. I'm going to have my first old man rant here in a minute then, because I think Babe Ruth is one of my all-time favorites, if not the favorite. And, yeah, but you're right. But his stats as a pitcher, though, were incredible. He was an outstanding pitcher.
Oh, he was a way more dominant pitcher.
And you're right, to do it both, that's just never been done, and it's incredible to see. But yeah, I don't want to see him get injured like he was last year in the playoffs either. And and then something happened like happened with the NBA Finals tonight, that's still heartbreaking. I feel so bad for that guy or for and the team.
Halliburton.
Yeah, and the team.
The Pacers most likely would have won that game tonight if it wasn't for that.
I think it's no doubt they would have won. I mean, he's so clutch. He was just so good.
I mean, hit a game winner in every single round.
Yeah, and well, I think, does that about wrap it up for us, or where are we at here?
I think that's just about good. I mean, we can. Oh, one more thing. We can talk about Paul Skeens. There's a lot of rumors about him being traded, or potential for him being traded, because the Pirates suck ass, and they have for a while.
It's not very nice.
Everyone hates the Pirates. Even the Pirates hate the Pirates. Like, their fans constantly chant to sell the team because their owner's just awful. But Paul Skeens leading the majors in ERA, a 1.85 ERA, in 102 innings pitched. He's the best pitcher in baseball right now as ERA goes. He gets no run support.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
He's got a 1.85 ERA, and he is 4-6 over 16 starts.
Wow.
That is Justin Verlander level of like no
I don't know
run
if his
support.
was that bad. He had some games that were bad. Well, I remember Roger Clemens had horrible run support, and he didn't. He had a losing record. He had an ERA that was astronomically low and had a losing record, which that's why some of these stats kill me. I think he had a ton of strikeouts. Everything else was good. When you get no run support, wins and losses are a team number. That's what
Yeah.
kills me with it. I don't care if he lost 20 games that year, which I don't. I'll have to go back and double check everything. But I know he had a heck of a season and did not win the Cy Young. Had a ton of strikeouts. I think he led in all the major categories. Wins and losses obviously are a big deal for a team, but it's a team
Not
sport.
for the Cy Young, though.
An
It
individual
shouldn't matter.
award, if you're that good in every single category and your team sucks, you should not lose that award. And same thing with the Baseball Writers Association. Like we were talking with Griffey and
Jeter not being 100%.
and Lou Whitaker not being in, which again I know it's a tie.
Greatest second baseman of the 80s by every stat.
Yeah, and Jack Morris was the greatest pitcher of the entire 80s. Won 3 different World Series championships,
Either 3 or 4, I can't remember.
and the guy just got into the Hall of Fame a couple years ago. It's like, why? He was dominating I'd argue there was nobody better than Jack Morris in the 80s. And again, I know he's a Tiger, so we're a little biased, but stats
3-time
don't
World
lie.
Series champion, 3-time.
3 times.
84, 91, and
What
92.
did I say, 4? 3? I said 3.
I said 4. He also pitched a
So I was
no-hitter
right and
in
you were wrong. That's the takeaway
84.
from this.
Shut up. He was also the World Series MVP in 1991
Yeah, I know.
with the Twins.
With the Twins, and Kirby Puckett was on that. Kirby Puckett was so good. All right, well, I think this is pretty good. This is a lot of fun, actually. We're and guys, it'll get more smooth as we go along. We'll kind of iron everything out and be more fluid, and especially once we start getting some more interaction from the audience or from our listeners. Tell us what you want us to talk about. We'd be happy to do it and do a deep dive on any particular player. We can do some bonus episodes if something breaking happens and we can't get to it, because we're going to be posting once a week. Times may vary as we, hash everything out, but I'm looking forward to this. And if you like what you hear, hit the like button and on all of our social media, subscribe. And I guess that's all I got. What do you got?
That's it. Here's the random clip of the week.
I would like to apologize to absolutely fucking nobody because the double champ does whatever the fuck he wants.